Do not let me catch you being stupid. Do not. And my oldest gets it. My 15-year-old, he tells the other ones, he's like, yo, don't make dad mad. Because once you get one that's right, he gonna straighten the other ones out. So it's just that thing of, in the past 20 years, we've been living through the death of the American male. They have literally killed masculinity in our homes and our communities.
To see Doechii have so many men pressed and upset at what she wrote down with a little marker and a whiteboard, y'all cannot be serious. As much as y'all talk about preferences, now y'all have an issue? Girl, please. DJ Miss Milan asks, what is a big red flag when it comes to dating? And Doechii wrote down and said, straight men. And I thought it was funny. When I saw the clip, I laughed. And it made sense. This is a running joke that I hear from women a lot. And honestly, I just thought it was gaggy. That's it. But baby, the way heterosexual men took to the internet and were ready to clean Doechii's clock. They were ready to clean Doechii's clock. What does she mean? Preferences? What is she talking about? See, this is the culture. Y'all trying to eradicate us and y'all are doing all these things. Baby, straight men would have thought their lives and their rights were on the line, which is very ironic considering the conversation about who rights have been most taken away recently. Wow.
I want to start this video with a disclaimer that I take no issue with how people choose to date, whom they choose to date. Everyone is free. We have our own prerogative to date whom we choose to do in what fashion we choose to do so. However, as one of the aforementioned toxic red flag men, I do feel I have the right to express my opinion when people say that being a heterosexual male is a red flag. If indeed we are a red flag, my question is, where are the people that are the green flags? And where are those people going to lead the community, not just in terms of a narrative, but where the next generations of families going to come from? Because there will be no community if there are no men answering this question.
I keep my boys humble. Like, my boys have never had a pair of Jordans. You know, my boys don't do all that internet fly. I'm like your kids.
So you have men jump online and were trying to eat Doechii up, were calling it out and just naming this is the toxic type of behavior. This is, what would they call it? Man, I don't know, whatever the word they try to come up for to make men being in the receiving end of massage. It doesn't even work like that. But these straight men we're talking about. So I just find it funny because this is coming from a female rapper who has been openly queer in her music since 2022. She's been very vocal about that in her music. And she just said what she said. She had her preference. And now you have all these people advocating for the erasure of Doechii because they've been tolerating her. Let's really talk about what's really going on.
Tim Hardaway, last question before we let you go. How do you deal with a gay teammate?
First of all, I wouldn't want him on my team. And second of all, if he was on my team, I would, really distance myself from him because I don't think that's right. And, I don't think that, he should be in a locker room while we're in a locker room. And it's just a whole lot of other things. So I wouldn't even be a part of that. But, it's stuff like that going on, and there's a lot of other people I hear like that's still in the closet and don't want to come out the closet. But, I just leave that alone.
You know that what you're saying there, though, Timmy, is flatly homophobic, right? It's just it's bigotry.
Well, I hate gay people, so I let it be known. I don't like gay people. I don't like to be around gay people. I don't, I'm homophobic. I don't like it. It shouldn't be in the world for that or in the United States for it. So yeah, I don't like it.
In 2007, Tim Hardaway made the comments that you just heard, and they got him canceled. And I would dare say that it was justified. to make a sweeping characterization or even a decision of liking or not liking a group of people based on an attribute of theirs is the definition of bigotry. Although it wasn't in as caustic or straightforward a manner as it was when Tim Hardaway said in 2007, using the word hatred in his description of how he felt for a certain group of people of a certain sexuality, we can see a certain type of parallel. Although it's not the same, it's similar, only because it is a blanket statement of, I don't like men that are heterosexual, or those men are a red flag. I am not saying they're the same thing, but I am saying it mirrors the same type of blanket characterization of all of these people, because they have a certain type of sexuality, are distasteful, or I don't like them in a certain manner, or they're not fitting to be with. Except now it's celebrated.
Y'all favorite male rappers or favorite male celebrities, period, black men, a lot of them, even the basketball players and the football players, if we want to talk about erasure, child, it's only a couple more generations before that blackness in some of your faves is completely gone, if we're being completely honest. They were liking Doechii because they didn't see her as sexual. They didn't see her as a sexual rapper like the rest of the female artists. And I think there's a reason for that. They don't see Doechii as desirable anyway because she's dark skinned. They don't see her as that.
And they also do not desire Doechii in the same way with other female rappers who just so happen to be light skinned. They also don't desire her because of her features. It's not just because her purely being dark skinned, but it's her features as well.
It's like y'all desire women, but y'all hate them at the same time. Wow.
In the midst of this colorism, texturism, featureism argument, if you ask hip hop heads from the 1990s about Foxy Brown, I assume she's dark-skinned enough, they're going to laugh at you and say that she was beautiful, she was sexy, and she was an incredibly talented artist. And so the colorism, featureism, texturism argument doesn't really matter to heterosexual men, because if she's beautiful, she's beautiful. It just seems like a projection argument, especially for an artist that's supposedly not even worried about heterosexual men. Why even include those men in the conversation if you're not interested in dating those men? I don't understand why heterosexual men are in the line of fire at all.
I could be the biggest star in the world. Do not let me catch you being stupid. Do not. And my oldest gets it. My 15-year-old, he tells the other ones, he's like, yo, don't make dad mad.
For the last couple of years, we have listened to everybody try to come up for reasons for why they do not date bisexual men. Y'all have came up with every reason why. And I've literally had a conversation with one right in my face who tried to lie to me that the reasons why were not related to health. And then when I end up asking her other questions, she ended up saying that it was because of health. Because for the most part, people see bisexual men as gay, and you all associate queerness and any of that, especially when it comes to men, with HIV and AIDS, if we're being honest. That's what it ended up being. Oh, I'm so worried about my health, so worried about my health. If you were so worried about your health, any man that cheated on you, you would be concerned. Because if we're going to be honest, heterosexual men are the least likely ones to go get tested. They do not get tested unless something is wrong with y'all. They said that. Even y'all have said that out your own mouth.
Because once you get one that's right, he gonna straighten the other ones out. So it's just that thing of, in the past 20 years, we've been living through the death of the American male. They have literally killed masculinity in our homes and our communities, for one reason or another. But I raised my boys to be young men.
As I stated earlier in this video, I take no issue with people's sexual preference or the way that they're born, however you choose to explain it. It's one thing to have the conversation about who you're with behind closed doors or who you choose to express yourself with. But it's a different conversation to talk about how you're going to use that to propagate yourself, your DNA, your family into the next generation. That is a conversation that is not answered in this colorism, texturism, everyone talking about heterosexual men being toxic, because it's the heterosexual men that are going to propagate the next generation, or at least that's the roadmap that we've seen from humanity. So if we're not going to have a discussion about that, which is what Anthony Mackie is having, then really it's just a conversation about what I prefer and the fun I choose to have. And that, although it's an important one, it doesn't really lead anywhere except making me feel good.
Like that type of culture has been happening for a minute. How y'all interact with women, how y'all treat women, like that, how y'all talk about women right now in this moment, how y'all are very upset instead of trying to understand, well, why is that? Why is that? Y'all are just immediate, like y'all are being oppressed. And there's no way a black woman like Doechii can even pretend to oppress y'all, because a lot of y'all are not even interested in a black woman like Doechii. If we're being honest, we've seen what y'all find attractive. We've seen how y'all have getting white women with braids and non-black women with any type of blackness on their bodies or on as an aesthetic. We've seen how y'all have given them stuff to the top. We have seen who y'all cheer for. So your boos mean nothing. We've seen what you cheer for. So now y'all trying to boo Doechii when y'all wouldn't even be talking to her to begin with. Yeah, it's some black men who be interested in some heterosexual black men. But when we're talking about what Doechii is doing in this moment, she is responding to a system that allows toxic type of behavior like this. Y'all have really proven her point. The way y'all have reacted to what she said is the very reason why. We can't have conversations with y'all because this is how y'all react. Like y'all get very defensive. Y'all are not trying to listen because there are a lot of black women who are interested in black men. If we want to be honest, statistics shows us that black women are going to choose black men a lot of the times, way more than black men choosing black women.
And that's always since they were 2 years old. Every time I left for a job, I tell my 15-year-old, you're the man of the house. You make sure these doors are locked every night, this alarm is on, you text me or you call me every night before you go to bed and you wake up.
I love that.
Because we're men. If I'm not there to protect, he got to be there to protect. Because you can have all the money in the world, climb through the window, that money means nothing.
Right.
You can have all the celebrity in the world, jump through the door, that celebrity means nothing.
Yeah.
So you got to have a little guard in there, you know? And so for me, it's always that idea of American masculinity is very different.
At the end of the day, the reason why we're doing all of this talking in the first place about whom we're going to mate with or whom we want to be in a relationship with is because sooner or later we want to create a family and recreate ourselves so that we have a chance to see ourselves propagate into the next generation and speak up for us when we're in our elder age and we're not able to have our voices heard in the same way. What is the blueprint for the black family moving forward in doing that? If we have Grammy Award-winning singers saying that men that are heterosexual are toxic, or red flags, if you will, or if we have Ebony K. Williams types saying a man is not necessary to have a family with, essentially they're saying that a different black community is going to be formed without the need of heterosexual black men. And if that is in case what they are calling for, then that means we as heterosexual men have to make a pronounced decision about which direction we're going to proceed in, and it might be in a direction that is opposite, in a different direction than this group of people. Of course, when this group of people then call on us during the election season to say, hey guys, kumbaya, let's all come together, we have to remind them that we are red flags, that we're toxic, that we are essentially not going in the same direction. And so if that is the direction that you choose to go in, then we have to wave goodbye to each other, and the black community may need to just simply splinter. Because if you're telling heterosexual black men we're toxic, that we're not necessary, that we need to change the way we are based on the fact that we're born heterosexual, then we're forced with one of two choices. Find a way to embrace a new type of masculinity that is very new and requires a true redefinition of what it's going to be accepted by a group of people that has a group of rules that are forever changing, or to simply find our masculinity in a new direction with a new group of women who are simply saying, I want a man that is heterosexual and proud of it. Because there's really not a lot of wiggle room in the middle, and the more wiggle room there is, the more confusing it gets. And you can see why guys like Anthony Mackie say that masculinity is under attack. Because day after day, it becomes clear, especially in the black community, that heterosexual men are the enemy. And if we are the enemy, then that means that we have to go somewhere else so that we're not the enemy anymore. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.